Advisory Commission.
Yep, and a time,
Oh, and the time.
Yeah.
It is 5:30 PM,
40.
5:40 PM.
Okay, thanks. Perfect. And then just read down, so just read down, so.
So now we'll do a roll call.
Okay, and then I'll do the roll call. Commissioner Getz?
Here.
Gates?
Here.
Commissioner Parker?
Here.
Commissioner Cassiari?
Here.
And Commissioner Wolf and Commissioner Panazzo are not present.
So now we'll move to first public commentary, limited to agenda items only. No public comment today?
Approval of agenda, let's do that one
Oh,
first.
sorry. Let's approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Awesome.
So now we'll do first public commentary.
Good.
And there are no public
Mhm.
comments today.
Good.
We'll need approval of the minutes from last month's or February's meeting, rather.
Those are in the packet.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Okay. And now we have presentations.
Perfect. Okay, that's me. Okay, so I wanted to show you our Market to Chef program quickly. However, it's going to be a brief overview since two of you are very familiar with it, and so would like to show it for the purpose of this meeting and for Holly and for our commissioners and our audience. Basically, I've mentioned this before, this is a new program we're piloting, and it is to make shopping easier for our chefs and restaurants in Ann Arbor and to make buying wholesale items also easier. We are doing a pilot with a few chefs and a few farmers this May. And then in June, we're going to be opening it up to anyone who wants to participate. So, you know, we're hoping it catches on and that it just kind of increases our restaurants' involvement in local food and in the market, and also increases attendance or more people coming to our market that haven't maybe been before. So this is, I just wanted to show you our website page. This is on our website under Market to Chef, and it kind of just runs through what it has to offer. We'll be doing a weekly email or bi-weekly email of what's available, so availability lists. Also, chefs will be able to make orders on these lists. And there are going to be chef hours in the mornings, Wednesdays and Saturdays, when chefs can come pick up easily, pull into the market area to pick up. Also, free parking Wednesday mornings for chefs, just to encourage them to come to market itself. So this, at the website, if you go there, you can click on it and see some maps that really show like loading zones during those hours, how to get around the market. We also have carts and dollies that they can borrow. Whoops. And yeah, so our website has the map included. Another part of this service will be Joel Panazzo has volunteered to sort of be a market mentor and kind of counsel any new chefs through the process if they have questions about how to go about ordering more locally, which hopefully will, you know, make it less intimidating. Here we go. So yeah, if you go to our website, that's how you can find it, Market to Chef. And see if we scroll down, pretty much just the maps, expectations, logistics, day of, how-tos, We've included a seasonal produce guide on the website, but in the weekly availability emails, we'll also be listing what's coming up so chefs can help plan their menus a little better. Yeah, so kind of, how it's going to work. And like I said, it's a pilot project. Hopefully, we're hoping it catches on and that we can do better after this year and work out the kinks. Yeah, pretty much. That's the summary. Any questions?
Do you know how many chefs are interested? Do you have a sense?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have, I think it's about 5 that are on board for May to help us pilot it. And then for June, we're going to start doing more outreach and trying to pull people in for June. So above and beyond who I think we've already definitely have interest from 2 or 3, but we're really going to be working on getting more in this coming month. So,
That's great.
yeah.
It seems smart to pilot it and work out the kinks on a small scale. That's great.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, thank you.
So now we have regular business agenda items, are there none of those, Stephanie?
No, not
Okay.
really.
And no new business. Next up is our market manager report.
Okay, so this is our monthly summary of what's going on at the market. Keep you all updated. First of all, I wanted to give you a construction update because we have a lot of construction going on right now. There's 2 major projects that are going on this spring currently. The parking lot this week is being resurfaced, with a grant that we obtained from the DDA. Or Sarah actually was able to obtain. And that is basically our whole parking lot area will be repaved, the lines redrawn, and will be finished next week, is the hope. So the layout is changing a little bit to reflect more the middle aisle. If you're familiar with the market area, it's the sand lot, we call it, which is sometimes the vendors set up there on Saturdays. And then that's in the bottom half of the parking lot, and in the upper half of the parking lot, there's a middle aisle that cuts through about half of it. So the parking and trucks will reflect just what's going on in that middle aisle. So that walkway will just carry on down straight through, basically, if that makes sense. So we're adding about 8 parking spaces. Yeah, so we're excited about that. Also, along with that project, there is a lamp post that's really wonky in there, and that will be removed. And the lighting that was providing will be, there'll be a bright light that is controlled by the market. Hopefully, we're looking into putting a bright light that we can control on the end of the middle aisle to shine and light up the parking lot area. Also, the street lights on 4th Street, they are improving those, and those will be brighter, and that will also provide some additional light. So, and then also a note, there is a little parking lot area that is between the market and Carytown itself, by the bell tower, and that is not being repaved right now, but it will be repaved after Detroit and 5th construction is done. So eventually it will all be fixed. Just not yet. Does anyone have any questions about that particular project?
I have questions about the new parking spots that are going to be put in.
Yeah.
Are they going to be lined up? Like, are they going to line up with the parking spots that are currently on the north side of the center aisle? Do you know what I mean?
They're gonna line up. Maybe if I pull up that map, would be easier, and I can kind of show you.
Yeah.
Let me just pull that back up again. Okay. Yeah, because it's just easier to visualize if we
Yeah.
get this up here. .org/market. All right. So basically, this aisle, so where these trucks park, just like this, that will be the same down here, one line. This middle area will stay open, so people can still go around in the U. And then equally on this side, this will be lined up here. And then this will remain like a walkway area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the row, how do I describe it? Sort of across from your office. There.
Right here?
Yeah, that row of parking.
Yeah.
It'll be a double row then, so you'll preserve the old spots.
It'll be one row, so that right now, as you see them, they're kind of gonna move forward a little bit.
So there'll be more room on both sides, really.
There'll be more room here and more room here.
Yeah, okay.
As I'm, imagining in the summer on a Saturday, when vendors line up on either side here, we'll still be able to do that. But this walkway
It'll be more narrow.
will be a little more narrow
Just like
it's
the
pretty
market.
wide now.
Yeah,
once you
that
get
makes
into
sense.
that section.
And then will those spots be made available to some vendors somewhere?
These new parking spots?
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I think until we come to a decision, I will probably assign them in order of seniority as I do all the other empty parking spaces. But we can think about assigning them permanently, which is what we do with these parking spaces over here. Does anyone have any immediate opinions?
I don't know. Or do we want to leave those, especially for on Wednesdays, for customer? I don't know. Or do you want to let those be used by whoever gets those stalls when they're setting up out in the lot?
Right.
Will that work? That
Right.
they could use those? I guess we can't see exactly how the spacing is going to be yet.
And sandlot stalls will continue to be 10 feet wide?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Will they be painted?
The stalls the parking spaces
Aren't going to be 10 feet.
aren't going to be 10 feet. So I
Right.
think, we'll probably have to mark out ourselves the
Because
10-foot
also,
areas.
the tents are 10 feet deep, which is
Right.
deeper than a farmer's market stall. And
Right.
so we just have to make sure that aisle is wide enough,
Yeah,
not only for the tents,
Right.
but the aisle to go between them, you know?
Yep, yeah.
I think it's too soon to know how it's going to fit.
Right. I think, Alex, what you were saying and what I was imagining is this middle walkway aisle, it is going to be narrower than it is up here, but these are about 5. You're right. It's hard. We won't quite know. They're going to lay it out next week. But these are about 5 feet deep here. So the tents will probably push out in front of where these cells typically end by maybe at most another 5 feet on either side. So leaving us still with the walkway, but like I said, it will be narrower.
So how wide is the aisle there in the market? I think it's 12 feet or something.
It's about 12.
Okay, so we're taking 10 feet out of that.
So
Not
we're
So there's 2 feet to walk through.
I'm thinking that those parking spots that are gonna, those new parking spots on the north, on the Carytown side of that, the tents may have to go over those spots to get you to get you an aisle down the middle
The
when vendors set up out there.
the ones here.
That's what I'm thinking.
Um,
Because they need enough space, maybe not 20 feet that we have right now, but they
Yeah.
need some space.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna match the width of the center aisle walkway plus stalls,
Yes.
which is like, let's call it a 12-foot walkway plus 2 5-foot deep stalls, so 22 feet, and you're gonna fit in there 2 pop-up tents, that's 20 feet right there. So that leaves 2 feet to walk through, if you're trying to get in 2 rows of tents.
that.
yeah.
So I kind of hear Carlene that those parking spots are maybe not going to be usable by the sound of it.
Right, I think we'll have to wait and see, but I'm thinking that you'll have the same parking spots on Saturdays as you have right now, but no more.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because one row of pop-up tents is going to have to bump out, you know what I mean? Because otherwise it just won't. It just won't fit.
And there's quite a few days where you need stalls on both sides. And if you did only have stalls on one side, because that's all you needed, it still wouldn't be a very good place to sell with people parking right across from you.
Right. Yeah, so you're right. We will have to see how it kind of ends up. If that is the case, I think it does make sense to do it, still do tents on both sides,
Yeah.
but maybe not use the parking there
Yeah.
on a Saturday.
When it's full
Who
down there.
who came up with the design of where the spots go and how?
I mean, that was just sort of what it was a conversation between me, Republic Parking, and the contractors.
Okay. Because I feel like those measurements need to be made, because it's not that vendors set up in the sandlots. Sometimes they set up every single Saturday in 2 aisles from June to October. So just making sure that that still fits is
Right.
really important.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my number one, to make sure this aisle stays and that you're still able to do it on both sides.
Okay.
I guess the question then too I have is, instead of the chains being the barrier, there's going to be little bumpers. They need something to stop
at the end of the
vehicles.
parking lot. So
Yeah.
that's going to be in the middle of someone's stall.
Right. So the other way they would be able to orient it is to put bumpers over on this side here so that vehicles could park here and then park here. Like they do now, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the same orientation as right now is kind of the other possibility.
I mean, you lose the freedom of navigating that Carytown side parking if there are bumpers. I mean, if the idea was to widen that, but I think it's going to be a real hazard to have bumpers in a stall space. A real
You
hazard.
know, when you go to Myers or any other place where you park, they don't have bumpers out in the middle of a parking lot.
And by the looks of it, I think that the southern side row of parking will probably have bumpers in someone's stall space as well. Because those, I assume they want bumpers there too.
Yeah, the
Well-
thought was they'd be behind the stalls just like they are.
I think they would be there.
I think someone needs to sit down and measure all this.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened, and that's crazy,
Yeah,
because I
well,
just don't know what that's going to
It
look
hasn't happened
like.
yet because we haven't been able to, because the idea is like they'll do the measurements after that first code is laid down, and that's when we figure out where to put the lines and where
So
to put
next week.
everything. So next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's definitely still a lot of opportunity to figure out this final layout.
Well, there's 7 days.
Well,
Yeah,
right, but I mean,
So if I were to influence the process, it's just to say that the market must preserve a minimum walking distance between those 2 rows of stalls. And those stalls are unfortunately 10 feet deep. So that's a really wide allowance. And I don't think that there should be any bumpers in anyone's stalls.
Okay. Yes, so I'll bring that back to them.
Yeah, I just question whether they even need bumpers there at all, when you think about how parking is around the world.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just a problem when you go to push snow, there's something for me to fall over.
Yeah, they need something the Republic Parking says that they need something to stop a vehicle from going too far into this area, because this will be flat and this middle area will still be open. So I think there are a couple different solutions for that. One is bumpers. One is like the posts, maybe like a chain between the posts. Maybe we can take that chain down during market. So I think it's just a matter of looking at the possibilities. But I do hear you. Those are the needs. And so we're going to try to work around them. Good. Which is why I wanted to talk about this today. All right. Cool. Anything else on that? Good. All right. The 5th in Detroit, that's also going on right now. We're sending out weekly updates to the vendors week by week because it's just changing so quickly. And to kind of help ease the construction, the difficulties for customers, there's free parking at the Anna Ashley structure. The Boober Tours bike shuttle service will be around market this summer, shuttling customers to their vehicles. And the market has carts to purchase or borrow. We're also beginning to research, looking into just temporary solutions for an indoor area for next winter. So, as we talked about before, I don't actually have any new updates on the overall city budget or the market infrastructure project. So it's kind of where we had left off with that. But I think in the interim period, in the meantime, we'd like to see if we can find any like temporary, cheaper solutions just to keep looking at this winterization. Because it really is, everyone agrees, something is needed, and sooner is better. So we'll be researching kind of different models for that this summer, and probably come back to you when I have some more concrete ideas. Yeah, okay, so any more questions about construction? Okay. Marketing, just really quickly, there was an article in Edible Wow magazine. If anyone wants a copy, we have extra. That was cool. The new Parks and Rec guide is available, and there was a CSA Day article in All About Ann Arbor's website. So CSA Day is one of our upcoming events, and then I've just listed in the report the rest of our kind of upcoming events to watch out for. So Wednesday Market is starting this May. So the first Wednesday Market is May 2nd, and we also start an hour earlier. We'll be starting at 7. The CSA Day is actually this weekend, so a chance for customers to come learn about CSAs, what they are, and the options, and for vendors to give out info and sign up memberships. We'll be holding a flower day on May 27th, which is in partnership with the Artisan Market, and kind of all flowers and plants, but that's on a Sunday. The guest chef cooking demos on the 3rd Wednesday of each month. So this May is Miss Kim. And finally, I included the food truck rally dates. So our first food truck rally is also May 2nd, and that's the 1st Wednesday of each month. So that's coming up too. Yeah, and that's kind of all I have. for what's new.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we'll take our second public comment. No public comment. We'll need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And we are adjourned at 6:06.
Okay. Thank you.